It's October 14th, 1943. 0800 hours. England is shrouded in morning fog. Across dozens of airfields, engines roar to life. 291 B-17 flying fortresses prepare for takeoff. The largest daylight bombing raid in history. The target, Schweinfurt, deep inside Nazi Germany. Schweinfurt produces 60% of Germany's ball bearings, the small steel spheres that keep every tank, aircraft, and weapon system running. Destroy the factories. Cripple the Nazi war machine. That's the theory. But Schweinfurt is 400 miles inside enemy territory, beyond the range of friendly fighter escorts. The bombers will fly alone, unprotected, through the most heavily defended airspace in Europe. The crews know the odds. Statistically, you have a 1 in 4 chance of surviving 25 missions. Most don't make it past 10. Today will be many crews' first mission. It will also be their last. Lieutenant Colonel Byrne Lay Jr. watches his crew board. Young faces, some barely 20 years old. They joke nervously, light cigarettes with shaking hands, check their gear 3 times. Nobody mentions the empty bunks from yesterday's raid. The bombers lift off in waves, hundreds of aircraft darkening the English sky. They form up over the channel. Massive combat boxes, defensive formations designed to concentrate firepower. Each bomber carries 10 men, 2,900 lives heading east. They cross into German airspace. At exactly 10:30 hours, P-47 Thunderbolt escorts turn back, fuel exhausted. The bombers continue alone. Now, they're vulnerable. Luftwaffe controllers watch the formations on radar. They scramble every available fighter. Bf-109S, FW-190S. Hundreds of them. The largest German fighter response ever assembled. The first attack comes without warning. German fighters scream through the formations at 400 miles per hour. Head-on passes, cannons blazing. B-17 starts falling. Turret gunners fire desperately. .50 caliber tracers arc across the sky. But there are too many fighters. They attack from every angle. Sun, clouds, below. Relentless, coordinated, deadly. Inside the bombers, chaos. Shell fragments tear through aluminum skin. Hydraulic fluid sprays. Oxygen lines rupture. Men scream over the intercom. Some scream into dead radios. A B-17 named Ruthie II takes a direct hit to the cockpit. Both pilots killed instantly. The bomber drops out of formation, spinning, burning. 9 men still alive inside. Some bail out. Some can't reach their parachutes. The bomber explodes at 20,000 feet. Another fortress loses its entire tail section, severed clean by cannon fire. The aircraft tumbles. No parachutes emerge. 10 men gone in seconds. The formation tightens. Survivors close the gaps. But the gaps keep growing, faster than they can close them. Bombardier positions fill with smoke and blood. Waist gunners fire until their barrels glow red. Ball turret gunners watch bombers fall beneath them. Friends, burning. Nobody can help. They reach Schweinfurt at 11:45 hours. Flak erupts. Black clouds of shrapnel fill the sky. The bombers fly straight through it. No evasion. Bomb runs require steady flight. Bombs away. The factories below erupt in explosions. Mission accomplished. Now they have to fly home. The return flight is worse. German fighters refueled and rearmed. They attack again, and again, and again. Some B-17 limps along on 2 engines, some on 1. Crews throw everything overboard to stay airborne. Ammunition, guns, equipment, anything to reduce weight. Others can't maintain altitude. They fall behind. Stragglers are easy targets. Fighters swarm them, finish them off. 60 bombers don't make it to the target. Shot down over France and Germany. The formations press on. By 1500 hours, the survivors cross back into friendly airspace. They count each other. The numbers are devastating. 17 bombers crash-land in England, 2 damaged to reach their bases. Crews evacuate before the aircraft break apart. At Thurley Airfield, ground crews count the returning bombers. They launched 21 that morning. 11 return. 10 are gone. 100 men. The final count takes hours. 291 bombers launched. 77 are shot down. 650 men killed or captured in one afternoon. 122 wounded. The 8th Air Force loses 26% of its force. In 6 hours, some bomber groups are devastated. The 100th Bomb Group launches 13 aircraft. 3 return. The 391st loses 8 of 13. Survivors stumble from their aircraft. Uniforms soaked in blood, some their own, most belonging to crew members who didn't make it back. Debriefing rooms fill with hollow-eyed men. Intelligence officers ask for details. Many can't speak. They just stare. That night, the barracks are quiet. Half the beds empty. Personal effects collected. Letters written home. Schweinfurt's ball-bearing production drops 67%. Within weeks, it's back to full capacity. The factories were hit, but not destroyed. The cost was catastrophic. The gain temporary. October 14th, 1943. Black Thursday. The day the 8th Air Force learned the true price of daylight bombing. 650 men paid with their lives. For a lesson written in blood across the German sky. The mission reports are filed. The bombers are repaired. The empty seats filled with new crews. And tomorrow, they'll fly again.